Welcome to my third episode of Home Buying, Steps to Home Buying. Today's 9/17/2015, and just to give you a little bit of a market update for today, we have 17 new listings in our market. 5 have expired, so 5 came off the market. 9 price changes. That means you can find 9 better deals before you did yesterday. That made sense. We have 5 sold as of today, and 279 under agreement. The most up-to-date you'll find anywhere online. Today we're going to be covering the third section of these episodes that I'm doing, the series. The first one we covered what to do after you speak to a realtor. You go speak to a lender, whichever one, if you want to use your own lender or if you want us to recommend one, we do that for you. The next step would be to actually go for the home search, go see homes, see which ones you like, and start writing up the offer. This video is going to cover the part where you found a home, and now we have to write an offer. Now, different areas in different states, they require, tendencies of real estate. A little bit different habits, different norms. For instance, in southern New Mexico, it's normal for the buyer to pay for their appraisal. We consider it as a lender charge. You're trying to get the loan, you're trying to get the house, you pay their appraisal. Northern New Mexico is totally opposite. The seller pays for the appraisal, so that changes everywhere in different markets. And so when you write an offer with your agent, they're just going to ask you, these are the options we can have, these are the different things we can do. Just keep in mind, there's normal charges and then there's some customization. Everything in real estate, though, is negotiable. It kind of depends if you want to make a risky offer or you make a strong offer or you have some room for flexibility. It depends how strong your offer is. You can think of it as a scale. If you're going to lowball an offer, you want to make sure that you don't ask for the world in the offer as well. Such as, some people will say, there's the $200,000 property. I want to offer $160,000, and I want them to pay for all closing costs. Well, in our market, that's not at that point where that would more than likely go, and you may offend the seller, which, if you want to write an offer, our job is, as real estate agents, to advise you not to. But if you want us to, we can. So we can do that for you. But what you're typically going to do, if you're going to lower the price a lot, don't ask too much for them to pay for closing costs, for appraisals, home inspections, termite inspections. You can either one or the other. If you do both, maybe one gets turned down, you get the other. But at the same time, the way I do my business is I advise my clients that to try to see if you either want to go for the price or go for the receiving the items on the deal, such as your closing costs and so on, etc. So that's the part of writing the deal up. So after you write the deal, we're going to have to. This is what happens behind the scenes after you leave our office. I contact you. Sign an offer. It's a 16-page document. It depends how old the home is. It may be a little bit more. If it's built before 1978, it will have a lead base form you have to fill in. So there's different documents that go with it as well here in New Mexico. So after we write the offer up, you leave our office. We don't just say, oh, okay, make a phone call. Hey, do you accept this offer? No, it doesn't work that way at all. We call the other agent and say, hey, we're going to be submitting an offer to you, and we scan it in. At this time, I already have your pre-qualification letter. Now, with your pre-qualification letter, if you go through a national company, they give you a generic one. They say 100 and, let's say you're approved for $300,000. Okay, so but you were making a deal on, you're making an offer for $240,000 on a $250,000 house. I don't want to show them that pre-qual that you're able to buy a home for $300,000. It's a negotiating a card. It's like playing poker with your cards facing the other opponents, the other players. You would never do that. It's bad negotiating. So what I do after you leave the office is I contact your lender and I say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. or wherever, you know, Mr. John Smith has wrote up an offer for ABC Main Street number 1, you know, and can you please send me a pre-qualification letter that states that they only approved for the asking amount. So if we write the offer for $240, I want a pre-qual that says $240, not a dime more. Okay, and so you never want to just give your agent a letter saying, hey, you're approved for millions of dollars, but you want a house for $100,000. You know, if you want to make an offer for $100,000, give me a letter that says $100,000, not a dime more, and we'll be in contact with your lender to get that paper for you. So after we have that letter and it's customized with the correct asking price, we put it in an ISO, we scan it into our system, send an email out to the other agents, and I contact them and say, hey, Mr. Agent, I have an offer in your home. I have an offer for your listing. Can you present it to your buyers? Okay. And then there's going to be deadlines on this contract. Once the deal is accepted, that's when all the timelines start. So once you're under agreement to purchase the price at that asking price with everything you stipulated on that contract. They're under agreement at the same time to do the same. Okay. Now, once they accept, some people will ask you to bring earnest money up front. Earnest money is good faith money. It is the glue that holds the contract together. So once you have the glue that holds the contract together, which after the deal is accepted, we'll ask you for a check, money order, doesn't matter. Make it to Eli Berger. I'm just kidding. You don't make it to Eli Berger. You make it to the title company, which will be in charge of your escrow. So the title company, what they're going to do is they're going to write. It can be different amounts: 500, 1,000, 5,000. I think the biggest one I've done is 10,000. Earnest money that's going to hold that contract together. So what you do with that money, it gets deposited into an account with the title company, and it's a very controlled trust account or an escrow account. You know, that money's not touched. Okay. And if the deal goes sour for any reason, breach of contract, or the lending falls through, there's different ways a deal can die. There's hundreds of ways a deal can die. You know, that's what we try to prevent. You know, sometimes, you know, such as a buyer, when you're under agreement, the biggest mistake people do is they run up to credit to buy a car. They get a new credit card. They pay off their credit card. The key is once you're under agreement, don't touch your credit. Pretend you no longer have credit. Because the minute you do, you can lose your house. I can tell you about a person that bought a plane. I can tell you about a person that bought a car, that has a truck, that bought a truck, that went and bought the furniture for their brand new house, and they lost it because there's a thing called debt to income ratio. It has to meet a point, and if they're barely at that debt to income ratio, and then they buy that new furniture, and it takes them over here, they just lost the loan. Or there's a drastic change in their credit, and the bank backs off, and they want to redo everything, and you're jeopardizing your home. So remember, if you're under agreement, don't touch your credit at all, you know. And if you have a question, contact your lender on that deal. If you wanted to buy something, you needed to put it on credit for some emergency or some type of thing, make sure you talk to your lender before you do it. He'll tell you, yeah, I'll affect it, or no, don't touch it. So after the fact, after you're in agreement, you bring the earnest money. The earnest money gets put up. It's the glue that holds the contract together. And you have to order inspections. Once we order home inspections, I don't say, hey, use this guy. He's really good. I use him on my deals. Okay. We do have our home inspectors as agents that we like to use. Ultimately, it's your choice. It's always your choice. There's a few that I like better than others, but it's your choice. We give you a list. We cannot recommend a certain inspector. I can tell you one that most of my clients use. I like him because he does a really good job, and I like a few other ones too. But there's no way that I'm going to tell you to use this one or use that one. You have to choose. It's your choice. And any other agent will tell you that too. It's your choice. Because the minute we start recommending inspectors, the liability says, well, you picked the inspector. That's why I always tell my clients, you picked the inspector. And then they ask me, usually normally they'll ask me, well, which one do you recommend? It's up to you. my clients use any of those. You know, sometimes they, you know, I'll tell them they like this inspector more. This inspector does this type of inspector. That he's known to catch these type of items. This inspector does this. This inspector does that. I just tell them which inspector does what and what they do better and what their needs are. You know, and but ultimately they have to make the decision. I can't make the decision for you or for them or for anybody. So that's the next step, and then after we do the home inspections, we'll order the objections, which we'll touch point. We'll have another video about what happens during a home inspection. Okay, so now at this point, at this episode, you already found a home you liked, went under agreement, both parties accepted, and then we're already ordering inspections. Now that's a smooth deal. That was a great offer. Everybody likes it, and that's a great negotiation. A lot of times we're going to have to counter. What we can make an offer for instance, a home's $250,000. We make an offer $235,000. The seller's agent says, "Hey, you know, my client wants to counter." They fill out a proper form. It's not a phone call thing, and they send it back to me, and then I have the counter. I have to present it to you as anything they say. I have to tell you. So when I print out that, I'll call you and say, "Hey, we have a counter." They counter, let's say, at $245,000. Okay. I'll tell you, we'll run some comps to see if it's worth $245,000. If it meets it and you're happy with it and that's the house you want, we'll accept it at that point. If not, we can also counter back and say, "You know what? I'd rather pay. I don't want to pay more than $242,000. Okay. Keep in mind, though, in talking mortgages. Okay, I'm not a lender, but for every $1,000, it's approximately $8 to $10 a thousand. So within 30 years. So every month, 8 times 12, you can go. I mean, we can do the math, but I mean, in real estate, a couple thousand is not going to make a difference in real estate. Your nickel diming is what you're doing. So if this is the house you like, don't hold it up over a couple thousand. The difference was $16 a month. I'll touch more base about lending. I have an interview set up for us with one of the lenders, and we'll get together with them, and we'll have a video on my blog here, and he'll touch base about what the price difference is per thousand. And he's a lender; he can say that kind of stuff. So once we accept an offer after the counters, the whole package it comes to me. I send it out to my transaction coordinator. My transaction coordinator sends it to the title companies along with the earnest money check. They cash it immediately. Your check is not held in a safe anywhere. It's put into a special account, and that account cannot be touched. That money stays there until the end of the deal. During closing, once you close and the property funds, that money is either used part of your down payment, or if it's extra, it will be returned to you. But it's basically, it stays with you as long as we do everything on that contract as told. That money is yours. As long as we close, basically, the money is yours. And there's no issues. Okay. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or concerns, remember you can always contact me at 575-528-8615. I appreciate it, and call me anytime. Thanks.